Hey guys, Jessica with Topistry here, and guess what? We're making a super fun, easy, and very creative cake tumbler. So I chose to do chocolate on chocolate on chocolate because I love chocolate, but I cannot wait to see what flavors you guys decide to make. The video is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet and let you guys watch. Okay, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer them. As well as all of the materials that I use will be linked in the description bar. Okay, so once you have your triangle base built, and you made sure that you enforced it with your hot glue, you know, no open edges, okay, you are going to get your foil and you're going to kind of rip your foil and stuff it, you know, in the spaces around your tumbler. Okay, we don't want our tumbler moving around and back and forth, so you want to stuff it all the way in there as tight as you can get it, and then you're going to use some hot glue to kind of secure that foil down on the box as well as on the tumbler. Okay, so once you have finished adding your pieces of cardboard to the top of your triangle, you are going to just make sure that everything is secure with your hot glue, no open spaces. And then once you have and you're satisfied with that, you are going to start adding your clay. Okay, this was my favorite part of this entire project. It was super easy. The clay that I'm using is called Premier Clay, and I got this at Michael's for about $14.99. But I'm quite sure you can get it on Amazon. or on the website. But what I'm doing is I'm just going to smear this clay on this cardboard box. It goes on very easily. I did a 3-layer cake tumbler. So once I got my clay on here, I kind of drew like 5 lines so that way I could kind of have separate parts for the cake texture and the icing texture. For the cake texture, you could use a dotting tool, you could use a fork, anything pointy, okay, to kind of really scuff up this clay. For the icing texture, you can use your finger or a clay tool if you have that. And I just would say for the cake texture, you do want to scuff it up as much as you can because when you add your paint to this, it's going to smooth it out. And when you add your epoxy, it's going to smooth it out. So go ahead and scuff it up as much as you can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up some of these parts and I'll come back later. Okay, so you just want to repeat the process for your cake layers on both sides. Okay, kind of let that dry. This clay does not take very long to dry. Also, we kind of use a thin amount of clay, right? So now we're gonna go ahead and close up the spaces on the top. Okay, I'm just using my hot glue and I'm gonna fill in all of the gaps that I need to. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the clay on top. Okay, so you will see me periodically get my lid, okay, and I am just measuring when I do this. I want to make sure that it, fits. The clay is still very soft and, malleable, so I can go ahead and smooth around and make sure that everything is good to go. All right, and I'm just using my finger to kind of create that icing look. One of the reasons why I love this clay, it's very easy to work with. Um, and so once I figure out that everything is good to go, I'm going to take my lid off, and then I'm going to add the icing to the back of this cardboard box and kind of finish it off. Okay, so now we're ready to paint. You are gonna need a paintbrush. I would recommend a small one as well as a medium one. And when you start painting, you are going to kind of dab, okay? You don't wanna like paint like you would normally paint, right? You don't want to brush it on. You kind of want to dab because you don't want to smooth the cake texture, okay? You want to, if not create more texture. And so you'll see me there. I'll start smoothing and then I'll notice like, no, I need to go ahead and dab with my brush. Okay. And you get to have as much fun as you want with this process because you'll get to bring it to life with color. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up and I'll come back later on. Okay, so final steps. I am loving how everything is coming together so far. What you're gonna do is you're gonna continue to kind of pay attention to detail. You see, I have a brush in water right there, and I found that taking that brush with a little bit of paint and a little bit of water helps to kind of fill in some of the gaps where there's white. You do want to make sure that, especially if you're doing like a chocolate cake, that there's no white peeking through. So I just would take my brush and kind of, fill in those spaces. I wound up painting the bottom of this cake tumbler the same color as cake would be, the dark color. And then I went and got my tumbler turner arm and added it to my turner. Okay, and once I add it to my turner, I am going to take some epoxy and I am going to brush this on. And the reason why I chose to use a brush instead of my like glove finger for the epoxy application is because I don't want to glob on this epoxy. Once I add this epoxy on and it's kind of seeping into all the nooks and crannies of this tumbler, I am going to kind of take my brush and kind of take off some of the excess epoxy. Okay, so I want it to fill in the gaps, but I don't want it to, take away the texture, where I work so hard on that texture. Okay, so that's that process. I'm gonna kind of speed up and then I'll come back when it's all done. Okay guys, that is the entire tutorial from beginning to end. Look at how cute this is. I just love it. I love it so much. But you can add whatever topper you want to this cake slice tumbler. Whipped cream, cherries, you can add a drip, but you will put your straw through your straw hole or however you want to do it, and then you're done. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you are looking for more hands-on tutorials, come and join my Patreon group for only $10 a month, where I teach you how to make this and other beautiful things. Okay, the link will be in my description bar. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will talk with you guys later.